sanctified city. There's another word, but I can't use it on air. But,
yeah. Well, thanks for.
I hear the music.
Yeah, I'll keep you. I'll tell you what. I'll keep you on the phone, and then we'll come back to you after the break. Stay tuned, folks.
Hey,
Last segment of hour one coming up. Welcome back to Freedom Link Radio, everybody. Joe Joseph here, Mike Powers. And guess who showed up? And did you bring your tardy slip, Missy?
I didn't. I left it at home. The dog ate it.
And folks, let me just be the first one to say, and Mike, you are not, you don't count here. But Gwen is posting a job description right now out there for somebody, a demolitions expert, to come and help her with her computer.
Hey, I can make it happen. It's just
you don't count, Mike.
I got to keep it in perspective.
Gwen, for the last hour, we've been talking about the Occupy Wall Street, what's been going on with that. And we also have Jeff from Massachusetts on the line. And Jeff, before the break, you were talking. I don't want to stop you. Why don't you finish your story?
Oh yeah, sure. Now, as far as what's going on is concerned, at this stage in my life, unless the protest is really, really good, I mean, I wouldn't even go on any of these protests. My focus is getting to New Hampshire, getting out of the population centers, and surviving. In fact, storing up food. If you have the ability to store food in any way, shape, or form, do it. I rent out an apartment, so I'm limited to what I can do, and so forth. But take up a real self-defense class. Like model mugging. I like model mugging. I was blessed by that. It has its flaws, but anything that has to do with scenario-based self-defense that teaches weapons, teaches how to take away weapons, and preferably take up a gun class that teaches weapons retention, because I know how to disarm a gun, and so forth. And my first martial arts class I took up was Kempo. That was tournament. I learned a lot from it. Adopted some good things, just like Thai boxing. Thai boxing sport. I like it. I learned a few things from it. But if you want a good stuff for the money, take up small circle jiu-jitsu, Kali, World War II tactics, train with a guy who's Force Recon Marine, Green Beret, Ranger, Street Fighter, somebody that's got some experience. An Apache Indian that knows knife fighting. Anything like that to where a person's a warrior and knows his or her stuff, like stick fighting and stuff like that. If you can find somebody like that that's a combat vet, hold on to him. And that's all I have to say, because it's going to get rough in this country, and I fear that people are like the Eloi in the movie The Time Machine, prey, sheep. If you would. People cannot bear hearing hard stuff. People can't even bear hearing anything negative. What's going to happen when all of a sudden an EMP bombs start going off in this country? What's going to happen when you have false flag terrorist attacks and thousands die? People have to have a girded mind. We don't have a girded mind in this country. People focus on building their muscles and getting the stats score for baseball and sitting in their easy chair and drinking a beer. This country's through. People better start getting there. Yes.
Well, thanks for the call, Jeff. I appreciate you coming on the show. Well, guys, Gwen, you haven't really had a chance to chime in. So, Do you anything you want to add to the conversation? Anything? Your thoughts on this this protest? Okay. Sounds like you're breaking up again, Gwen. I would wager to say, Mike, that this could be a tipping point of sorts.
Sure.
It just depends on how it all plays out. Gwen, has your audio gotten better?
No, I'll
nope.
send you a message when it does.
Okay, very good. Okay, so, but like we said, it does have a contagion effect, and it is spreading. And people are starting to protest different things, Mike.
One thing I'd like to address real quick, and thanks to caller Jeff that was in here just a few minutes ago, you know, when he addressed going out and getting some real-world training, I want to echo that 100%. One of the things I'd kind of like to supplement that with is be extraordinarily cautious. If you're approached by a law enforcement officer and for whatever reason they feel the need to take you into custody, if you decide to fight back, I'm telling you what, it's your own choice. Now, I'm just saying this for you know, the protection of the average citizen out there. I've been advised by an attorney that the best thing to do is just go. The more you resist, the more you fight back. If he has a gun and you don't, he's going to pop a cap in your butt. You know, is make sure not to put yourself in the wrong scenario at the wrong time, you know, that kind of thing. But absolutely get those protective skills in place and make sure that you have a good, solid foundational knowledge in the laws that protect you first before you get into it. Go ahead.
It reminds me of the saying, you know, fight the fight that you can win. And you have to know tactically. You have to think tactically and say, well, you know, if I do comply here, I'll go down there. I'll have to sit in a cell for a couple hours, see the magistrate, and I'll be out on the street again by nightfall. Yeah, and then I can fight another day. But if you make it so that they give you a whole host of charges, then I'm sorry, man. You know, you're going to be in a hoosegow for a while.
Exactly. But I do want to absolutely echo Jeff and his sentiments about going out there and get some real life training. And don't just restrict that to defensive tactics. I mean, obviously, that's going to be your first priority is making sure that you have the defensive line to defend everything else. But, you know, start thinking about some real serious medical skills. You know, you go to the American Red Cross, get certified all the way up to EMT. Go out there and, you know, how many people actually practice the fine art of jarring and canning kind of thing? You know, learn all those preservational skills. Don't focus so much on combat alone as 100% independent individual sustainment capabilities, you know, that kind of thing. But, you know, what I was saying before that break, man, is it's that list of those cities that we rattled off, you know, Denver, Los Angeles, all that kind of stuff. In my mind's eye, when I first picture all this stuff, you know, if and when the whole thing comes to pass, you know, those are the cities that I envision imploding first, almost verbatim. You know, those are the ones, and it's already starting in New York with these guys that are going on the bridge and everything, and they use that orange fence to corral them. And you know, I just got to thinking to myself, hey, I'll tell you what, the minute those people lose containment, so to speak, if I can coin the phrase, lose containment, you know, I got to give a big 10-point shout out to all the American patriots and people out there who have absolutely held their cool and maintained 100% professionalism in this and not gone ballistic. As many times as there's been somebody out there that's challenged them or encouraged them or egged them on to, oh, you know, go get your guns. It's time to fight. Da, 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 da. You know, all these YouTube schmucks out there that are trying to get everybody all riled up. You know, 10 points to the American patriot who's professional and intelligent to realize that that is not the appropriate response yet. You know, let's not drag it to that. Let's see if we can solve it. And that's when, additionally, a 10-point shout out to our leftist brothers, even though they're to opposite sides of the fence. You know, they're still out there doing and not just talking. And I think that in and of itself is deserving of a huge round of applause for those guys. Go give it to them, guys.
Yep, they're sticking their necks out on the line for everybody, not just the lefties or anything else. They're going up against the beast. That's what they're doing. And I'll tell you what, folks, it's gaining traction. It's gaining traction. And now people are protesting other things as well. I was talking earlier about Bank of America. Bank of America has done two things. First of all, they've been very fraudulent in the way that they've been foreclosing homes.
Oh, boy.
And so people took to the street to do that. But also the $5 fee now associated with debit transactions. So people in Boston went out and protested at Bank of America. And this is from the Daily Mail, another UK source, because you won't find this in the United States. No. Dozens arrested after foreclosure protesters target Bank of America. It said police have arrested 24 protesters for trespassing during a demonstration against Bank of America's foreclosure practices at the banking giant's office in downtown Boston. And they want to be arrested, and we oblige, Boston Police Commissioner Edward F. Davis told the newspaper. Organizers said about 3,000 people joined the protest. There were no mention of Bank of America's planned debit card fees, which recently have generated headlines and frustrated customers nationwide. The Bank of America website crashed yesterday after being overwhelmed by angry customers following the decision to charge them to use $5 a month if they use their debit cards. This site went down for hours in the morning, and hours later, service was still intermittent. So, I mean, people are getting PO'd, man. And it's so good to see because finally, I feel like America is starting to find its voice again.
Well, and it's a long time overdue. Basically what happened is, it's almost like right out of an Aesop fable or, some other kind of fictional literature that essentially, you see these people that are just asleep, like Sleeping Beauty kind of thing. They wake up all of a sudden and realize, wow, everything is really messed up and really trashed. And, while everybody's busy blaming it on George Bush, I'll tell you, Joe, my honest thoughts are simply this, right, is that I think what happened is the Obama administration, regardless of whoever their owners are, I think what happens is they severely and catastrophically overplayed their hand. They came in, they thought they had all the control, they thought people were lulled around, they thought everybody was just dumb enough and completely sleeping enough that they could just pull the wool right over their eyes. And unfortunately, there was a core group of solid Americans that were awake, that were aware, have been watching this thing fall, and then they just keep playing it over and over and over again. Oh, it's George Bush's fault. It's George Bush's fault. Well,
yep. When we come back, folks. When we come back, it's hour number 2, so stay tuned. Don't go away. We'll be back after these short messages.
We are the children, last generation.